to start off with.
All right, so we're live. Everyone say hey to the internet.
Hi, Internet.
And so, to those of you who don't know how we will start out, first we're going to start out from introducing each other to the internet. I first introduce our name and then our perception of government or any form of civilization. How we should, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, anyone want to start out first? Woody, do you want to start out first? I know you're here.
Hello.
Uh,
You
I
want?
can. If you
All right.
want, or there you go, Woody.
So, can you introduce to the audience who you are and some of your perceptions about what makes an effective civilization that can last long, like an empire or a government, a form of government, or anything that you can think
Hmm. I'm Woody. I'm a retired electronics technician, and I don't know. I'm a little worried about our government. In fact, I'm worried about the state of affairs of the entire world and the whole world economic system, and I'm really a little concerned about what is going to happen worldwide in the next few months or few years. I have been mostly anti-war since I protested the Vietnam War back in the late 60s. Now it seems like we're getting worse and worse, and I don't know where you find a competent leader to lead the government. It seems like only the most toughest and most ruthless people even want to get involved in politics. There's so much mudslinging. I don't know whether we can get quality leaders anymore to maybe it's the mindset of the entire nation. I don't know. I just I really don't know voting doesn't seem to do any good anymore because all of our candidates pretty much pre-picked for us. Just you know, candidate A and candidate B, but they're both picked by the same general overall organizations. So I don't know what the solution is. I would hate to see another actual revolution, though, because I know I would not be able to survive that. And so that's about it. Oh, someone else comment now.
of. All right, so Eli, since I know you tend to be an outspoken person, you go next.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, my name's Elias, and I'm a student of life, knowledge, student knowledge. You know what I mean? It's all about the knowledge. And I feel like the government, how it runs right now, is insane. Like so many people are dying. Like I heard about a dude in the first Malaysia flight that disappeared. He got sent to an American military base and he's being held there. He took a picture from his iPhone. But when you click an iPhone and you click on properties, you find a latitude and longitude on there. You can put that in Google Earth if you put that on your computer and it'll show you exactly where he's at. It's freaking spooky, right? And then they kidnapped all the smart people, the engineers. Because you know what I'm saying? It's all about like it's greed. Greed destroyed a man for the power, the money. They lost all their humanity, man. We're killing the fucking rainforest. I mean, excuse me cursing, but man, like we need the rainforest, dude. And I guess that's about it. That's just how I feel. I feel like we're killing our planet, and like other people are in charge of the government. It's like this whole big like hive of collective bad guys trying to destroy us, and we gotta like come together as like a community or something and like stop them.
Okay, so that's just one part of the story, but you actually touched on something that I was about to talk about in our show tonight anyway. But
Well,
like,
I'm done, so I pass the mic to whoever.
three, you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, my biggest thing is, hi, I'm Guthrie from Canada. I'm a third-year math major at university, and I think that part of the problem is a two-pronged thing. Number one, we've got people at the top who are favoring nepotism and force over merit, truth, and competence. And I think that we on the general day-to-day level are also infected by the same irrationality. Until we can learn to incorporate science and good quality equal opportunity philosophy across the board, and save our planet and get off planet to help save it. I think we're in danger of dying off as a species in the next few decades to century or two if we're not careful.
All right. So what about you, Deanna?
Well, I don't have much to say on the government, but one thing I do know is when it comes to leadership, there really should be more leaders than followers, because at the moment there's too many people following one another instead of choosing the way they want to go. And to be honest, I think most of the time when teenagers are like, oh yeah, this person is my role model, or oh yeah, I'll totally copy off of that person because that's what's in. Well, it's not about what's in or out. It's just like finding what works for you. And what really bugs me is I see a lot of kids my age, or like a lot of teenagers, where they just follow the next trend, and it's like, well, what makes you think that's a good idea? So I think the whole point about leadership is having other leaders not follow you, but have them like set an example. Because if we all followed each other, wouldn't we end up making the same exact mistakes?
Exactly. Like to introduce who I am the host of the show. I'm Andy, and I'm actually a second-year student in college, getting my associate's degree. And the thing about government leadership is that the heaviest Plato also once said that the heaviest penalty for declining to be ruled by someone inferior, which a group of people who just don't have emotions or don't even want to feel emotions. That's the real people who are inferior to us. That's should not be ruling us, but instead they should be ruled by us. Because the problem is that just like how humans want a person who make the most out of a moral, or you want to make the most out of human growth or development, you have to be the one who have empathy. You're the ones who have to be in line with the beauty that's already there. And away from it. The problem is just like this one quote I learned is that we already have enough leaders. So yeah. And what about you, Michael Pratt? Since you just got in, I have no idea if you're here yet. Unmute yourself.
You must introduce yourself, sir, to the rest of the crowd, Mike.
Well, I guess we'll have to move on anyway. Alright, so, hey, Mark. Mark, can you hear me? Going back to what we've been talking about is that I want to ask you guys, like, this is this is by far. I know that some of you guys will be telling me, okay, I know what you're talking about, but some of you guys were like, I have no idea. I want to ask you guys, what is a leader to you? Yes.
Oh, you want to ask us what our definition of a leader is?
Yeah, like go around and ask each other, what makes a leader? What makes a good leader?
So who wants to?
Okay, it seems like we're getting crickets chirping here.
All right. In
Alright,
that
leader
case,
is
I'll
a
you know
start.
what?
No,
I'll
a
say
leader is the
something
way
on this.
shower.
Wait, Michael, do you have
Here's-
I
Here's
think
what
a
I
leader
think.
is a way shower.
a way shower?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't really teach people, doesn't beat anything into their heads, just kind of shows them a way to do things.
Okay. And what about everyone
Let
else?
them experiment.
I think a leader is most people. He's like an organizer. You know what I mean? He also has to be someone who motivates people. You know, and someone like they have to be intelligent actually, but like like they have to motivate people because if people aren't motivated, they won't succeed as much. You know, if their heart's really not into it.
Okay. Mark just
Because I
came
think
in.
all the strength you need comes from your heart. So yeah.
We talking about what makes a good leader here right now?
Okay, that makes sense.
We're actually trying to define what a leader is because a lot of times we were taught by our government that we're going to lead you.
Well, I'd say that a leader is somebody who leads by example, who's been there and who has experienced it firsthand and actually has that knowledge other than just, you know, what their idea of what other people should do is and dictating it, but actually living it themselves and setting an example for people. I think that's what a real leader is.
Okay, you guys brought. Okay, Guthrie, you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, I actually wanted to mention one of my role models, Sir Ernest Shackleton, one of the people who tried to explore Antarctica. In his case, not only was he a leader that he had experience about, what was necessary to keep people safe, he took advice from all of his subordinates to make sure that he had enough information to make a decision. But once the decision had been made, based on all the best available data, everyone agreed to stick by it, and that was partly how he managed to get his crew out alive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, that is exactly what I was also thinking because to me, a leader is also a person who has
Andy, your audio.
like not only you have to have a strong heart, you also have to know what you're doing, and that you have to know your crew. Your crew strength is so important. If you screw that up, you're done. Your whole team is done. Because here's a funny story that I know once had when I was a recreational therapist, where I lead a group of people who also have like certain mental disorders. Is that what ended up happening is that when I lead them, when I know that I enjoy, for example, I teach yoga, they automatically know that I love it and they do it because I am the leader. However, the moment when I stop being motivated, that's the moment they stop doing what they're doing, and we couldn't get their attention. You notice that, right? And when you're like doing something, and you're trying to lead a group of people, the next thing you know, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
It's
people
always-
get tired.
But basically, that's what a leader is. On a nutshell. But how is that? The question now turns towards another angle that I personally even have till this day. I have no idea about. I wish you guys can help me answer this. Like when I studied Chinese history, Egyptian history, Roman history, think of all these guys. Even Greek history. Most of them survived up to 3,000 years. Their government is not even anywhere close to where we are, and yet they survived for thousands. I was like, how did they do this?
Kind of blindly followed somebody who's just dominating other countries because they showed so much power that that's what a lot of people were attracted to, and it's more like a dictatorship. And also I think, you know, the idea of respect in period in general is fading a lot. Like, a lot of people do not have respect even for themselves, and it's sad. So even if, you know, you have your own ideas about things, most people don't even respect themselves enough to, you know, to follow that and be the person that they know that they should be, much less follow somebody that has, you know, ideas that to necessarily help people, which I'm not thinking much of that in government today as a perspective. But like, you have
So, okay, so Guthrie, do you have something to say? Because I know you're like, I want to tell this.
Yeah. The first thing that springs to mind is actually something pertaining back to the classic Socratic dialogue. I'm reminded of the early foundations of philosophy and older critical thinking. Specifically, the idea of when a group of people are taking part in a political or any other discussion, they should be trying to get to the root of the issue and figuring out what's going on. I mean, even Plato, in his reference of the cave, talked about the concept of the philosopher kings. But the philosopher kings are people who are just trying to find out reality. So to that end, I would actually say that one of the biggest issues we've been having is this classic appeal to force fallacy, and the idea of go with the status quo, which is the ad populum fallacy. Just because the majority of people happen to hold that view does not automatically mean that at the present time it's true. We should be trying to work on best available data and best available thought methods, including how to avoid fallacies in our reasoning, and double-checking each other's reasoning and working together on a more empirical basis rather than just an appeal to, oh, this is what's in, or who this particular authority is, or I have enough force, therefore do as I say or I'll beat the living shit out of you. Pardon my language.
Oh, well, no, at least did it one curse word, and I didn't curse up Storm, so it's all good, man.
But like,
You said some good stuff there, man.
Guys. It's like,
But I just, you know.
So yeah, go ahead, Elias, if you have something to say. I might have to bring it up. Blech. Because like, that's the thing. When I look at how our government today, like when, like for example, President Bush. Let's talk about that guy. A lot of people, I know some of you guys hate him. I personally hate him too. To be honest, if I had to really
they say he is the grandson of Aleister Crowley. That's the only thing I can really, I guess, have somewhat respect. But besides that, oh, and he eats corn. But besides that, I can't really.
Magically.
He eats corn, and corn,
I mean, like,
has a lot of good nutrients for the eyes. Even though a lot of it is genetically modified, it is really good.
But here's the thing, Michael.
He eats it raw.
Here's something that I just don't get about some people nowadays in our current government. Even I don't know, in Canada, also facing the same dilemma where if the leaders say something to you, you somehow just listen. You somehow just don't seem to want to vote in and make your opinions be known. When we talk about political stuff, when we talk about voting, it's almost like as though the whole entire group of people who are just so dissatisfied with the government just also just shut down the vote. Like, I mean, it's very important. Your opinion matters. That's what I just don't get. It's like, how come all of a sudden people start shutting down one by one? Yeah, Guthrie?
Well, there's two parts I want to talk about on this one. Number one is the fact that in Canada we have been having a lower voter turnout as well, mostly because the current government has been flooding the airwaves with so many attack ads that most people might not necessarily believe the attack ads, but they start assuming that because there are so many of them that politics is the only dirty pool, and as a result that their vote won't make a difference in the long run. However, I actually have a potential solution in the long run which might address this issue. I don't know if you guys heard in Science News recently about a new technique where they were able to use the internet to send a binary signal from one mind to another. My thought is if we could figure out a way to extrapolate technology where people have direct ability to mentally access the internet, or even just access the internet in general with cell phones, and have access to all relevant data on an issue, they could just create opinions and vote on an issue rather than specifically on just the governor, and specifically instruct the government, this is the solution we want, now get it done. This way you're not voting once every 4 years, but you're voting once every 4 years and simultaneously instructing your government, within a few fractions of a second on what they are supposed to do, thus keeping them accountable and thus keeping to make sure that they stay on task and don't become the oppressive dictators we've seen Bush and some others become.
That's great. I think that's pretty
That
great.
is very great, dude. But
Well, here's
I also
another
think that our
thing.
government should be afraid of us too, and us voting for our brain sounds pretty cool. But I hope the government doesn't try to brainwash us, because what I'm saying,
Well,
dude,
here's the
chips in
thing,
our brain.
when it comes to the government and learning how to just vote through a binary information, we're also talking about, like, for example, when we use our thinking process to be able to, like, tell the government what we want to do, what we think we want to do. We're not just simply, think about it. We're always going to change our minds because something happens or something pops up in our lives that will make us think differently,
Yes, but that's why
it's for us. Like, that's how our government started in America. They said by the people, for the people. So in a way, it actually is for all of us.
I was also going to say that at this particular point, this is why there would be also preset ideas, as in we go to referendum and with this and basically go, okay, we're going to try X. We try X for a particular period of time and we collect data. If it works, then great, we keep doing X. If not, we scrap it and try to figure out why, or try to figure out new solution why.
That is exactly what I was like. Wow, that is pretty good. It sounds like the scientific method where you had to really try different variables before you actually reach the variable where it's like, well, it makes sense to our government, then let's try it.
Exactly.
Amazing.
In a nutshell, I'm suggesting that all social relations, from interpersonal all the way up to governmental and business, finally start being run by the scientific method at the pinnacle and moving everything else accordingly.
Oh, wow. And pretty much by the time we get there, I guess science really dominated. I'm not joking. No wonder why.
Andy,
What?
time to reincarnate to the year 2099.
Okay, well, is that BCE or AD?
The future.
Because BCE, I do recall my past life with my girlfriend where we did live in ancient Egypt, where the society back then, it was a little bit peaceful, but it just varies between different pharaohs, Some pharaohs are so good at learning how to, like, for example, some of them are what we call philosopher kings or Christ consciousness kings. They're fine, but some of them are so corrupt, they almost obliterated us to the point where we're like, Like, for example, my girlfriend, she actually got assassinated by the king by her own father, who happened to be a pharaoh, like 4,000 years ago, and I was actually the tombkeeper of
Wait, so you existed in a year called 2099, though?
Like BCE, yes, but AD, no. I don't recall anything from AD.
Are we in AD still?
We're in 2014 AD, which is by the Gregorian calendar. That's what I would say.
Dude, when I die, I hope I have enough good karma to go to 2099.
You can party like it's 2099.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I was kind of hoping to be Spider-Man or something. I can
I'd
dream.
rather be the Flash. You should be the Flash. That's way cooler.
Yeah, the Flash is cooler, but with great power comes like great responsibility. So I want to be Spider-Man.
Now, here's the funny thing, guys. Like, whenever I talk to some of the people in Paradigm Shift or some of the people in the meditation groups, I found out that some people suggest me to do what we call self-government, and that's when I was like, doesn't that sound like anarchy in some way or the other? Because that's like no government at all, and we're only governing ourselves. Like, how effective is
No.
that?
Well, the problem is that I've actually heard anarchy theory through libertarian philosophy. They automatically assume that the invisible hand of the free market will automatically show what is right. Problem is, though, is that depending on who holds the money or who holds the market, that could mean anything from the ad populum fallacy and the idea that just because the majority of people believe that a product is good automatically means it's right, especially when advertisers are lying. Or alternatively, if it's actually a small group of rich people who control the money, then that's the appeal to authority or appeal to force fallacy, depending on how they're applying it. Either way, we need much more of an open source data system to incorporate whatever our new system is we decide to use. And I'll try to stop talking now because I've been dominating the floor for too long. I'm sorry about that.
Well, that's why I was like, I know that Mark has been silent for a while, so I want to know if he has any opinions about this.
Yeah, man. Come on, Mark.
I've been waiting for you, man. Or Michael.
You're getting summoned by the host, Mark. We summon you, Mark.
Well, what about you, Corinne? Since you were busy listening all the time, and I was like, I just want to get you to talk.
Yeah, there you go.
I keep getting disconnected. It keeps booting me off. My Wi-Fi is kind of janky over here, so
It's okay.
I lost track of the conversation.
Yeah, what about Mike?
We were talking about like what makes a good government, good leader, and everything. Because that's the thing. Because leaders are just guides, but then in society we also mention something about dedicated leaders. Somehow they say the most endangered species are dedicated leaders. I was like, aren't those dedicated leaders that you guys define? That doesn't make any sense. That we should define a leader as like this person who's going to lead us in a good way, and then there's another level called dedicated leaders, which I have no idea how do you define that one. Like, what makes a dedicated leader? Who are those guys?
A good dedicated leader, I think, is somebody who has a sense of being part of something bigger than just themselves. Like, they know that they're not just doing this for themselves. It's not some self-nullifying reason why they're leading somebody. It's because it's for a greater good. And I think that's what, like, if you're going to be dedicated to something, it's got to have real meaning behind it other than just greed. And like, okay, and, this might be semi-biased, I'm from the South, but like Rick Perry, being indicted over just standing up for something that he believes in. And, this is America, greatest country in the world. Who dat? Sorry, I'm also a Saints fan. But, we also have Mary Landrieu here, who is, voting for amnesty for this. And, I'm not, getting into any kind of, like, racial opinions here or anything. It's just, all part of this leadership thing. But at the same time, she's talking about, protecting people's rights, but she wants to vote to do away with all of veterans' rights, which, me being a veteran, I definitely have a strong opinion about that. And she says that she's standing up for the people, but there's not a single person that she's representing other than herself, because this is all going towards the millionaires, not the middle class and the, lower class people who work 2 or 3 jobs at a time, such as myself, just to friggin' make it. And so it's confusing because most of them are liars, and so you really don't know what to believe. So you're just kind of lost in this power struggle between all these people who want people to believe what they have to say because they have some sort of hidden agenda for themselves. And so that's not dedication, that's greed. You know, I honestly couldn't give you a good example other than maybe Rick Perry for Texas.
Okay, I think I found out what Mark is trying to say. He said that in a shamanic way, it's a
He
matter
doesn't
of
have a mic.
warrior to their abilities so they can grow in intuition. Because I think that's what a dedicated leader is. The only difference, I guess, like here's what I found out, what you just said, is that dedicated leaders, unlike leaders, which is only there to guide people, like what Michael said, dedicated leaders is almost like the Buddha or God or Jesus. Those guys are willing to put their lives in the front line to defend their so-called beliefs or whatever they are teaching. That's what a dedicated leader is.
Sorry to interrupt, but I do have to run because I've got dinner and I've got a ton of homework to do. But it was nice talking to you guys, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thanks,
All
man.
right.
You too.
You too, bro.
Much love.
Yeah, and
It was great. It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, peace out. Later.
Peace.
Bye.
Alright, so what about you, Eliza? Do you have any ideas about this?
Yeah. Just one really. I mean, I think that being a leader, every leader has always been willing to make a sacrifice, you know. When you look through history, at like how George Washington founded America, he kind of just kept busting his, well, excuse me, my language, he kept busting his ass. Even as he got older, you know, he was going blind and stuff. He had the, you know, the dentures, and he was still, you know, helping and stuff. And, you know, Lincoln, they destroyed the South, but they helped rebuild it, although he got killed. But the thing is that, like, you know, he tried to help fix something that he destroyed in war. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a part of being a leader, too. You know, being responsible. I think that's the biggest part. And, you know, the other part that's more important than that, it really is caring. Because they have to care. And, you know, a lot of leaders like Buddha and stuff took big risks, you know, dying and stuff. Like Bob Marley's dead. And he actually sung for peace, love, and equality. You know, if you actually look at his history. You know, I think he was a leader too. You know, you have to have a lot of courage. You know, you have to be willing to make that sacrifice and take that responsibility.
Okay, yeah, because that's what's the same thing that I noticed in Gandhi also. Mahatma Gandhi also does the same thing. It's almost like as though once he put his mind into something or into a cause, he's like dead on with it. That's the weird thing. And that's how, like for example, when he got in prison for, like, I don't know how many years, 20, 30, I don't know, or even 10. It doesn't matter, but what's weird is that he was developing his nonviolent plans behind bars. So that way he can, one day when he gained his freedom, when everything is right, he took off and just literally obliterated the system at that time. It was incredible.
And he fasted.
And yet somehow these leaders somehow managed to survive on just, like, I don't know, eating once a day, and how many times do they drink? Not much.
Willpower, man. I think it's all about their willpower too, because they had a strong will to live, to accomplish their goal.
That makes sense.
Because that's the thing. What I just don't get is, like, how much of a willpower does it take to actually, like, change a group of people or a society? Because changing from within you is already, like, I don't know how hard that is, but a whole group of people was just, I don't know what type of movement they started, but Gandhi literally changed India. Every part, every what do you call it? County of India literally was never the same again. It's weird.
It's like
Hey,
what I'm reading, and I know that it's just a story, but it's got a really good message to it, and it's it's basically about like a global spiritual awakening. It's well, the Celestine prophecy, but now I'm reading the 10th Insight, and it's
Oh, okay.
it'll only happen like at a certain time once everybody comes to this awareness of like quit trying to control other people and like all these power struggles and stuff to get other people's energy. You need to find it within yourself. And once everybody can like learn to do that for themselves, then everybody as a whole will be able to generate that energy together to work towards something better as a whole.
So how do you
That
become
makes sense.
like a self-governed person that learns to decide what is good for themselves? Because that's what we're facing right now, where while a lot of us do awaken, the vast majority still lags behind the bar somewhere.
I think that's where the meditation and the self-reflection comes in, where you just kind of have to take a step back and look at who you are as a person and what you really want out of this life and who you want in your life. And you have to surround yourself with those positive people that are all working towards that same goal that you're working towards. It makes it a lot easier whenever you don't have, like this negative person talking crap about such and such. Well, did you hear about this girl? Like, oh man, she was talking trash about this. Who really cares? I mean, like, all that out, just, focus on, and not in a selfish way, but focus on yourself and be able to, if, love towards other people to help them better themselves too. Like, it's recognized, and it comes back to you sevenfold, a hundredfold. So
Makes sense.
it all starts with you, like it doesn't start with some great leader that has this great idea, and it very well could, but at the same time, you have to know yourself well enough to know what you want and where you want to go, and it all starts with you, and once you radiate that, it all comes back.
Right, know
That's,
thyself.
oh yeah. Now here's even more interesting things, like Elias just said, is that they inspire unity and love. Going back to what we were talking about love a couple of shows ago, we define love as this, it's almost like this bondage, something far greater than just bondage. It's almost like as though an action that is geared towards it, and you're motivated towards it. That means I'm motivated towards building, towards making beauty out of everything. Not just simply, oh, I'm just gonna like take whatever's there. That's what love truly is.
It's also appreciation, love is just appreciating people and things and whatever it is just for exactly what it is,
Now
because
here's,
once you
I don't know if you guys, but like research, I found this really funny about love, is that research shows, in fact, I studied this in psychology, they say that those who spend their, like, going back to the previous show, my girlfriend said that love actually makes a couple a lot prettier. Because did you guys notice that in some cultures where guys are the ones who make the leadership decisions, like determine the salary uh, or determining the kids' education and all those stuff back in the old days, what I noticed is that when the husband learns how to just love the wife, and the wife just, when we are a bondage of a family, somehow something very interesting happens. That the kids actually get higher A's. The number of good reports keeps coming in. The husband's salary goes up. The amount of health problems goes down. Like the list just keeps going on and on about how beneficial love is. What's funny is that if we have a society like that, that's what we call, that's what Gandhi say is true civilization. It's weird.
I guess in a lot of people kind of associate that with like weakness in a sense because you're you are vulnerable to criticism, to other people having on the fact that you appreciate something with so much love that you're opening yourself up to because everybody's entitled to their opinion, but love
Okay.
is the purest form of energy and the highest form of energy, and if you can unabashedly without restrictions just generate love like it's strong. It's really strong. Like the other night my mom, this crazy story happened with her and in front of my little brother, and I was really upset about it. And I found myself sitting there just worrying and worrying and being so upset and angry because he was exposed to that, and I knew that she was upset. And then I just just surrounded them in this white light and just generated love towards them and just projected it. And I just had this feeling that the next day she was going to call me and tell me she just had a great day. That's exactly what happened. She called, she was like, man, I just had the best day ever. And I'm not saying that I solely did that myself, but love is a powerful thing.
Well, what if, let's try a little experiment, shall we? I just wish Michael was here to actually see this. Let's say we all give each other right now, right now, and see what happens.
What?
I want to see what will happen after, how we going to talk in the shows. Because, I know, for example, you, Florian, you got into, I think you have a bad day sometimes. My girlfriend, Deanna, is heavy on that. Michael, I don't know about you, but Eliza's, he almost burned his head.
What?
I'm
Heavy on what?
School and everything, so let's see what happens. So everyone, give each other a big hug. Yes.
PP power.
Well, actually, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say all my days are bad. I'm looking at a person right now who always makes me smile, and his name's Andy. So I would not say all my days are bad.
Wait, so sweetheart, can you sweetheart, can you tell me a little bit more about some of your days, with some of your experience with people who lead you in your life?
Andy, I can barely hear you. Talk clear or.
Can you explain to the audience about how people in your life lead you and how it affected you? That includes me. That includes me. I know I was your boyfriend and I want to lead you all the time, and so feel free to also share that.
Well, number one, whoever's making that sarcastic comment, please stop. Well, first off, I'm a free spirit. I do not like following. I am my own person, and I make my own decisions at the end of the day. Whether you're in my life and you're not, I still make my own decisions. The only time I listen is when I ask for your advice or when you're trying to tell me something really, really important. And I, for one, repel against the whole system and the school system and teachers and even my parents, because I think I noticed, I observed people. I tried to find a deeper meaning to things. And I found out that even the people who have your best intention at heart, their rules and their way of leading is based off of their opinion, kind of like psychologists. Now, what I really find it frustrating is that sometimes parents have their own ego. And they're like, do this because I said so. Do this because this is right. And no, it's right in your eyes. It's not right in moral. Let's say that your mom tells you, let's say your aunt tells you a secret. And then your mom tells you, tell me the secret because that's my sister. Well, no. You can't always do things at your parents' will. I'm not saying rebel against everything. I'm just saying that I cannot tell you how many times I've came into conflicts that basic rules set by parents, teachers, bosses, whoever's above you. I cannot tell you how many times rules are based off of opinions, all because, like, let's, for example, smoking. It's not against the law, but it should be. But that's my opinion. But, like, some people say crack and pot and all that should not be necessarily a drug. But doctors, in their opinion, say that it is a drug. But hippies say that's a plant. It's all about, like, don't you see how
Well, not just
this...
hippies.
Hippies?
It's just anyone that recognizes this part of the plant kingdom.
I'm a hippie. Free love, man.
Oh my god, so weird.
It is part of the plant kingdom, though.
So yeah, like,
So is the coca plant.
But you see, everything's based off of opinion these days. And
True.
so, what I'm trying to say is when it comes to teachers, when it comes to teachers and people who try to guide me, unless I know their intentions, I do not like to follow anyone because I like to make my own opinion. I like to learn for myself. I like to teach myself stuff because I find it way too often that people teach things that are supposedly rules or laws, and it's based off of whose opinion? Someone else's opinion. And I think that's the problem because it seems like these days so many people rely on someone else's opinion. So in actuality, what I think is important when it comes to teaching and leading is stating your own opinion, but staying true to yourself. Like, you can follow someone else's opinion, but don't believe in what they're saying 100% and be like, oh, they make the rules, that's fine, and I'll just follow them. No, if you're going to follow them, know the reason why you're following them. And weigh out the cons and consequences.
right. So like, I hate to bring up our confidential relationship, but like, tell us some of the changes that you noticed when you got to a good relationship. Because, like, of course, I know that
What does this have to do with leadership?
a lot to do with leadership. Think about it. When you're dating someone, like, if your partner does not know something, it's your role to take that leadership position, or else, like, both of you might, for example, end up getting lost, or ended up having to suffer the consequences of not doing anything,
Objection.
But your relationship with Deanna has to do with leadership.
It does.
Yeah,
Think about it.
I hear you, bro, but I'm just curious.
You just said, oh, I'm going to lead my girlfriend to do something. What do you want?
Look at how you made that sound, dude. You made that sound so wrong. I'll leave my girlfriend to do something. That totally just flew.
Well, but I'm saying, like, we were talking about leadership, but this sounds like a personal story between you and Deanna.
Yeah, because then you started talking about like how you.
So, who else wants to cover leadership now? Because I want to go last, so I'm gonna listen to y'all.
Well, go for it, Michael, because seriously, like, I don't mind bringing up the same personal stuff over and over anyway.
No, it's cool, man. I just want to, let's just stay on topic,
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
let's be mindful of this
I
English
hear you.
Yeah,
here.
Andy, stay on topic, bro.
Let's bring out.
So leadership.
I somehow have a lot of affiliations with the military, and I somehow noticed you that you're a veteran. So tell us about some of your experience of the military. Because
Wait, I thought I was going to talk about leadership.
Yep, we're talking about leadership now. Going back to.
I thought we've been talking about leadership.
I'm lost.
I'm confused.
Alright.
Which veteran are you talking
I'm gonna-
to?
You
I
talking
mean,
about leadership in the military, Andy?
I used
Is
to.
that what you're trying to say, like a metaphor or like a lesson or something?
It's an example. Let me see here. Let's go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
Yeah, Mike, give us your example of leadership.
Alright, hang on. Let's see what Merriam-Webster had to say first. Alright. According to Merriam-Webster, he did not put the word leadership in this book. But he did use the word lead, which means to guide on a way. Live, to direct the operations, activity, or performance, an orchestra. To go at the head of, be first. Lead, position at the front. By which one leads. The privilege of leading. A principal role. So basically, when we talk about leadership, we're not talking about, now this is my own perspective, but with leadership, we're talking about one who guides others. Or, and they say they have the ocean, what do they call a group of fish that swim together?
They call that
A school. So basically,
Yeah, it is called a school.
Exactly. So basically, we're not talking about one who jerks off their egotistical pursuits or strokes them intellectually, really. We're talking about one that guides people, basically shows the way. Like an example, whether the historical Jesus or Isha or Ficius or whatever name you want to give him, if he existed, he or she basically presented a way. Now you don't have to go that way, but it was just a way, a bridge, so others could walk across. Not saying it's the only way, just saying it's a way, which Dao means the way. So a guide, one that offers guidance, is kind of like, say, an angel or such that kind of just nudges you in the path to go, in a sense. As far as leadership, there's more organizational skills, but what I'm saying, it is an organized, in my opinion, an organized way of guiding people, not telling them what to do necessarily, but guiding them and kind of helping explore in which field they feel the most, they have the most either knowledge in or experience in, helping discover and develop and evolve that pursuit, whatever they wish to pursue. Or if they're all doing the same thing, then they're all doing the same thing. But now that's just my opinion. But yeah.
But like that's the
What I
thing.
would say.
You brought up like a good definition of what it is, because to be honest, that's what many leaders,
Thank you.
leaders, country leaders, emperors. I don't care what leader you are. It's still basically the same thing, You have to, first of all, be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be the one who motivates others.
It's not like an ant colony, you know, worker mentality. It's kind of saying, hey, you know, this is what you can do, and if this is what you choose to do, we're just going to help you develop in that area per se.
Right, right. Welcome,
Adriano.
Hey, Adriano.
Okay, now we have more than one Aries here.
So, like, here's
Wait, I'm another Aries too. Andy, wait, what are you, Andy?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh man, all these Scorpios. I thought you were gonna be another Aries, bro.
I'm an Aries, if that makes a difference.
That's cool.
So pretty much we have plenty of that. But like that's the thing. But Gordon, it seems like you don't have a chance to talk. But like, I want to know about
Yeah, we should ask her some questions, you know? I bet you got some
Aries can
stuff you
have
want to
good
say.
leadership qualities.
know
Why, thank you.
experience in being a military veteran, because I know you work for the government. Like how is the leadership over there?
Who are you talking to?
Corinne.
You.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're cutting in and out. I can barely hear you.
It's okay.
I got out in 2008, and honestly, I worked on the flight line, so things were a lot less formal. Like you didn't have to wear your BDU top, you didn't have to wear your hat. I mean, you didn't have to salute officers on the flight line. You just go in, you know, work on an airplane, and then go home and drink. So I mean, it was really not very structured in my section of it. But
Doesn't sound that bad.
But it's really not. It's a job basically. But the whole reason I joined is, you know, my dad's a Marine. You know, I have a lot of pride in the fact that, you know, we live in America. You know, and I wanted to be part of the nuclear capable, you know, aircraft that protect this country, and it was cool. You know, and you learn a greater sense of respect, definitely, you know, because it's not just, you know, well, I can call in if I want to, you know. No, you have to be responsible and show up for work and, you know, do your job, and you have people above you to answer to, not just one person, but it's like this whole chain of command. And so even if you don't respect, you know, one of them, you still have to show it. You still have to be, you know, respectful. That's the main thing, you know, is honor, integrity, and respect, and, you know, doing the right thing when nobody's looking. So I mean, like, if it teaches you anything, it's definitely doing the right thing. I mean, there's a lot of military people that don't, and, you know, that you really have to be able to personal life on hold to do something like that. Like, your priorities complete. But as far as leadership, I mean, they're just people. I mean, like, it's the military, but they're just people. They're normal people like everybody else. You know, they make mistakes, and they don't necessarily have the best ideas. And you just go and you do your job, you do the best you can, and, you know, have some pride. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I realize, well, like, I mean, like, I have plenty of friends. I have plenty of friends who are military veterans also. Like, for example, like, my grandfather is one of them. Michael's father is one of them. A friend of mine named Kathleen is also one of them. And plenty. I can name whole times like that. But basically, I want to know, like, for example, like, when I first came into the military's MEPS, they always, most of the time, like, they would yell at you in your face and try to break parts.
They'll make you cry. They made me cry in basic training. Whenever I went to basic training, I had a burst blood vessel in my eye, and they called me red eye, and, like, my eye was water all the time, and, like, they'd make me get in push-up position for like 20 minutes because my eyes were watering, and they didn't tell me I could do that. So I mean, it's very, it's really strict, you know, and but yeah.
True.
I got nothing.
But like,
Yeah, they basically
did,
break the person.
was
Down
that
to make them stronger. They break the person down to make them stronger. Just like, have you ever had to walk somewhere a really long distance? You ever walked from one city to another and felt like the muscles in your feet were gonna melt? Well, see, that's your muscles breaking down to get stronger again. That's kind of how they make people tough. I bet she could tell us some stuff.
Yeah,
Probably.
definitely.
But sometimes it's just to obey. What they call
I mean,
brainwash.
Not
on a
just that,
personal
man.
note, like, do what?
Oh no, carry on.
No, carry on. Okay. On a personal note, though, I mean, like, I grew up in a girls' home. Like, my parents sent me away, and then I joined the military. And I remember in basic training, they specifically asked me, "Why in the world would your parents even let you join the military? Why would they think that this is a good idea?" And it's like, well, for one, it wasn't their idea. You know, I need this structure in my life, and they have no idea like who they're criticizing. But at the same time, you know, I'd already been broken down, but not in that way. Like, they break you down from the person that you are to make you
True.
uniform with everybody else so that you all are working with the same ideals. So, I mean,
Okay.
right? But did you have any idea like what was that ideal? Because, for example, I had this one veteran person who used to be on here a lot of times. She said that the reason why they break you down is almost like as though they had an agenda where they are trying to like do something extremely like if you were to be sent out for war, the leaders up there don't want to do it, so they sent you to be the one who do it. You're the soldiers versus
yeah.
the generals, who be the ones who were like, I'll just sit back and watch these guys just die in masses.
No,
That's what-
honestly, I know, and as violent as it sounds, like I've come a long way since then. I'm almost 28 now, so I mean, things have completely changed. But I had a lot of anger, and really, like, I wanted to go to war. Like, I'm not saying that I just wanted to kill people, but like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain this without me sounding like a vindictive, crazy C word, but I mean, I had a lot of pain and a lot of anger, and I just wanted to hurt people. Like, I wanted people to understand how that felt, even because of the war that we were in. And I know that that's wrong and it's horrible, but that's part of the reason I joined, because I had no problem with going to war and hurting somebody, because I'd had to fight my entire life, just to get stupid girls off my back. I grew up around nothing but estrogen, and so it was like I had no problem being in a male-dominated career field and possibly getting sent to war and having to hurt somebody. Like, I felt like it would make me feel better. And I know now that is a completely wrong way of thinking, but...
Yo, bro, hold on. I think you cooked me up with a fork.
What changed?
What changed?
But I got a brownie with icing on it, bro.
Deal with the boys.
This guy. Hey, you. I commend you on what you just said.
I can't hear.
I mean, like,
my biggest thing was just
hello.
You just
you change your mind about the authoritative leadership going on in like the military, for example. Like, for example, me, I personally remember in my past life I was actually a knight, so therefore their discipline was ridiculous.
Is this that guy?
What guy?
10th dimensional being guy.
No, dude, that's not him. Come on, man.
Did you guys get that?
Whoa.
Hello.
So yeah, I was asking.
Adriano, what's up, bruh?
Is my mic working?
Yeah, you're okay.
Sounds
My
like
mic's
it.
working? Oh, okay, cool. How am I? I'm a little tired. I fucking did a lot of kung fu today, so I'm about.
Yeah, but basically, I was just.
Like,
Oh, how was that chi rev, bro?
Kung Fu is awesome.
How was that Chi Revolution thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. It was kind of bad timing because I had just like broken up with my girlfriend, so.
Hey, wait, what form
Bro,
do
that
you
happened.
do?
The
You have
same
Kung
thing.
Fu?
The same thing happened to me when Chi-Rev came to the. I feel you.
Michael, I feel like we're the same person, dude. Seriously, like we've gone through so much.
You might
I
be
don't know,
the
like
same person.
because you have like long hair and a beard, and I did that shit too, and just like we have like similar paths, which is kind of cool.
That's well, it's so true, man. But I don't have the beard now.
Dude, when your
Hey, you're a
beard
good
fell
shit,
to the
right? Long
ground,
hair and a
you
beard.
turned into Jim
It's a thing.
Morrison.
It's been proven.
No.
I know, man.
To what we've been talking
That
about
was
over here.
crazy.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
People are like,
Andy.
"Oh, that looks like you."
Dude,
I'm
let's
sorry,
go with the
Andy.
long
I'm
hair
sorry,
and beard.
dude. I know
Let's
we have
join
like
the club.
we have like a format, like we're supposed to be talking about leadership or something, right?
Oh, it's okay. In fact,
Oh yeah. Well,
just
we were for
doing has
some time.
something to do.
I was just basically saying like,
But like going back to what we were talking about, like I want to know about what makes you, Corey. How
Oh, way over there.
all of a
Some poor nigga. Appreciate it, bro. And
What was the question again?
I want to ask Corinne, like, what makes her, what makes you change from being a person who's like all obedient to this authoritative leadership to being a person who's like, I'm willing to take that free will back to myself.
This is extremely personal. So,
okay.
I don't think she wants to share that.
okay.
I guess well, it's okay. Like, basically, like when I went through like all the.
But yeah, I was basically just saying like, I was basically just saying that like, I feel a good reason a lot of us are on the planet, are like is like to protect the Earth, and I appreciate you know, if the military is doing their best to, there's really something that's going on that's not, you know,
Oh,
a
she left.
lie or manipulation or bullshit. I believe that's what the whole ISIS thing is. But
sorry guys, I got disconnected there.
yeah,
Anyway,
like just I would basically like I feel like the biggest thing for at least me is just we have to prevent nuclear war to because if the planet is destroyed, that whole effect will like ripple out through many other planets and galaxy systems, and it'll just mess up everything. So I feel like that's the biggest thing is we have to take care of Mother Earth.
Like, did you guys realize about the problems with Palestine and Israel, where we're in a fight with this organization?
Did you guys get that?
You know?
Yes, Michael, we heard you. And now
Okay.
I guess we're talking about Andy was bringing up something about Palestine or something.
Yeah, I was bringing up about the issue of how like nowadays we're just going. Reason why I had to bring up this topic is because there is so many violence going out of Palestine and Israel, like over this organization named ISIS, where we had to try to hunt that whoever's the leader over there. I was like, just get over it. You want to make peace?
I feel like ISIS is propaganda.
Oh boy, this is some heavy shit, man. Oh,
Okay.
God.
What's up, Adriana?
No, these topics, you know, like this is some heavy shit, man. Like this is not easily these discussions are not
Oh, I
easy
hear
to
you.
have.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Well, Isis
Yeah.
is really an Egyptian goddess from ancient Egypt. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah,
It's just
dude.
crazy that, you know, the word Terra actually means earth. So it's like the people that are terrorizing the planet.
Oh boy.
This is deep.
Yeah. Let's talk
Well,
about Jackie. Let's talk about Jackie Chan.
okay, you just brought up an important figure. This guy really reminds me of Bruce Lee. He's a perfect example of a leader. I'm not joking. You have not seen.
Adriana?
Oh, I wish. I try to be a decent person. That's the very least I could do. No, but Jackie Chan is a freaking amazing leader, dude. He represents his country. He's really proud of his country, man. And
I think it was saying Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee is another example, but Jackie Chan, I don't
Have you
know.
Oh,
ever
he's
seen
definitely
Drunken
proud of his
Master with
country,
Jackie
yeah.
Chan? Jackie Chan is awesome.
Hey, I gotta show you guys something. I don't know. You guys are a little bit younger than me, so I'm gonna. Have you ever seen The Last Dragon? You guys know that movie?
I heard of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. With the is that the
The
one with
black
Bruce
guy.
Leroy?
Yeah, Bruce Leroy. Dude,
Oh,
watch
okay.
that movie, man. It's so amazing. That movie just saved my life. And to tie it into leadership, you know,
Don't think, feel.
yeah, well,
That's what exactly we.
It's like a finger pointing towards the moon.
yeah, well, like after he's done training with his master, like his master sends him on like a bogus quest to like basically find himself, and the whole movie's like at the end of the movie he realizes that he's the master of his own person. You know what I mean? So like as a leader, like
Gotcha.
you have to lead yourself first before you can even try to help anybody else. So
but like,
That makes
here's
sense.
I heard an example for
Awesome
that.
movie. Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
The saying that most people say that I want to pass by y'all real quick is that some people say you got to learn how to follow before you can lead.
yep.
because I think what you guys
Interesting.
talking, I sense that there is a reason why people always say that we have to learn to follow before we learn to lead, which is what my girlfriend sometimes
Follow the leader.
is that sometimes we can learn when we have something that we like or dislike about our leader, traits that we have regarding him or her, we somehow define ourselves by that way. It's funny, but it's true. Anyone notice that? Like, if you were to dislike a quality of a leader, all of a sudden you were like, okay, I'm not going to follow that path anymore. I'm going to choose the other way. And when it works, I say, this is what I should do. That's what I somehow notice about those who are leaders, is that they were once followers just like us. They make mistakes just like us. But what I'm really thankful of is that nowadays people are very aware of this. We know what makes us a good leader. However, how do we implement it? That's what it's what I want to know. Is because half the time nowadays we already answered the question: what makes a good leader? What is wrong with our world? Now
It just depends on the person.
But like, how do you implement it to other people? Of course, we can be motivated and everything. Like, for example, me, I used to go to counseling school where my therapist would lead an activity and I follow because that person's motivated. But however, I just like, do I like this? You know, it got to the point where I was like, am I really in the right class? Or am I really going, is it well worth going to therapy than just going to life coaching school, you know? Like, how is my therapist, or how is, for example, our president's mistake really going to impact us? I mean, like, if we're here to talk about progress, we're not making progress. Any ideas? Because
Ideas about what?
I mean like ideas about what can a leader do so that he or she can avoid some of the common mistakes that other leaders would do when they're trying
I
to.
mean, like, what would a good leader do to avoid mistakes that a bad leader would make?
And
You don't lead them to slaughter.
the motivation of their followers. That's what I want.
You lead them to
Here's what
green
I think they do.
pastures.
You know what I said when I said that some leaders inspire unity and love?
Right, but
Now,
that
see, when
is
you talk about people, here's the thing. We're people. So, like, imagine it like this. Like, say, doesn't matter if you're the leader or not. If you're in unity, you can accomplish a lot. You know what I mean? That's great power right there. And love with unity, bam. You got it in the bag right there. They're motivated. They're willing, you know?
Unity and love.
but like that's only one part of the equation. Here's the funny thing: when I lead, for example, going back to the example when I was at Macbeth
I
Recreation
think
Center.
integrity is one of the biggest
For example,
things with being a leader.
Michael, do you remember the last time where you were at the recreation center with me, where you're leading an activity with children
Oh
with development?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Of course, we were motivated, but out of all the people who were leading, all the staff that were leading,
But when that
those,
one girl started screaming, I didn't know where to go from there.
I mean, like, we did a good job at motivating 4 or 5 people while everyone else had none. The only
True,
question
true.
is, where's the other 46? You know, how can we get people 46 who are unmotivated to come up to the rest of the 4 other people?
Did you try to say things to motivate them?
Like, it's pretty hard, you know, because some of these people with some people with developmental disorders, they can't talk to you.
Some of them.
Oh,
Just depends on the person.
I thought you were talking about your like co-counselors that were working with you.
Oh, co-counselors, it's
No, I mean these were people who are very various levels of abilities.
Okay, and you're trying to motivate them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Motivate them,
Oh,
like,
that's really difficult, man. I mean, that's
If you had a common struggle,
We were
you
doing our best. They did get down with the yoga, and they did get down whenever we put old school hip hop on. You know, they started dancing, but
But they're looking through life from a whole different perspective, you know, man. Like
exactly.
that's a really different. If you can answer that question, you would save the medical industry millions of dollars, you know.
I showed
Wait,
well
what do
I
you
I
mean by
showed
that?
this one guy who was sitting in front of me. I showed him how to feel the chi, and I asked him, "Do you know what that is?" And he just, he nodded it, or he kind of just gave like a no sign, but he was feeling the energy.
Mhm.
So it's really
Some people don't know what it is, but you know what? That's why I feel like sometimes it's always good to kind of share their knowledge, I guess.
Yeah,
Some
that's
people
amazing.
just aren't
That's amazing.
open-minded enough too. I think that's what some of y'all may be saying.
It definitely breaks down if anyone is like really, if they're shallow. Being in there with those people, it definitely like just shatters shallowness to pieces, which is what I really liked about it, because they are just people just like you and I. They learn very different or very various ways.
like,
Their intelligence still shows in other areas.
oh, exactly, Michael. In fact, that's what developmental disorders is. But the thing that I also notice, why I bring up developmental disorders is not because I want to like make fun of those people with disabilities. I'm here to put another.
Of course not.
It's very ironic. Is that when I lead the same method that you, Elias, talked about to children, they understand, and and like the whole group of children, like 20 or 30 of them, start following you. However, when I start doing it to those who are like adults, like 30 or 40 years old, some of them will be like, I'm willing to do it, while vast majority will be like, man, forget about it.
That's because we have so many prejudices from life, man. You know, like when you're older, you've gone through so many experiences that you're jaded. You know, like your past experiences shape the way that you approach people and the way you accept people. And
You know, that is so true.
It's just the story, Adrian. Like, when I talk to them about,
That is so
like,
true.
Bonnie, about anything, they literally say, I don't know what did you say to me or what did you
She
teach me.
lives.
I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to listen.
yeah, man, like
Oh, wow.
some people are just set in their ways, man. Like you hit a certain age, you think you know everything, and you have your shield up and your guard up, and you're just unwilling to budge or move in any other direction, man. And those people
Which
lead
I think could be the
themselves.
fall of humanity, man.
Well,
It's
ignorance,
called
man.
stubbornness and pride.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. But I mean, that's their path and that's their journey. You know, like some people have to learn on their own, and they can't be taught unless they go through hell first. You know.
okay, so
Some people have to just learn the hard way.
Yep. It's
Such
true,
as
man.
that.
And I think
For us.
we're all guilty of that in
That's
some
true.
ways. You know, we all have certain areas of our lives that we don't excel in, and that it's our darker side, and it's stuff that we don't like to show to people, and you know, we don't like getting advice on certain things. You know, I think
True.
every human has that kind of instinct. I mean, you
I'll
know,
be right back, guys. I'll keep up the discussion about it.
yeah, dude, I love kung fu.
Bonnie, are you drinking kombucha?
I was just drinking water.
Hi, Bunny.
Hey,
Oh, I love kung fu
Um,
too. But
did anyone go see
are
the
you drinking
pool?
kombucha, Bonnie?
Nope, water. Agua. You
I
know.
saw it yesterday.
You saw me yesterday?
No, I saw the full moon yesterday.
I think it's full today. I think I needed to look that up, but the 9th is the day of, I think.
Oh, I thought it was yesterday.
What are you
I
guys
don't
up
know. I
to?
mean, it
What are
still
you guys
kind of
doing?
looks.
I see new faces.
Dude,
Bonnie.
Yeah, there's.
Michael, you look so
Bonnie,
amazing with the
do you
shaved face, dude.
recognize me?
Oh yeah, I saw your picture on Facebook. You do look totally different. I hardly recognize you. I'm
You
just
look
kidding. I do
amazing.
recognize you.
You look
I
amazing.
Hey, is
appreciate it,
Andy
man.
still here? Or did he leave? Where's
I was
Andy? Oh, there you are.
Dude,
Believe
I
it or
wanted to talk.
not, this is way more itchy than when I had the beard.
Andy
It'll calm
dusted
down.
away.
Back to our discussion, like, I want to ask, since Bonnie was here,
I hope so. Do I look younger?
You wanted to ask her some questions
You
about...
look like you look like Achilles, dude. You look like
Yeah,
you're like,
I was kind of getting this like Greek god sort of thing.
yeah, dude. That's what I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dionysus.
oh, Bonnie, I need to ask you
Well,
something.
I do love wine.
That's the god of
but-
how it be on the quiz.
Thank you.
Michael, I think you look like Jesus, man, and I'm like the
Yeah, Michael, you're like Best Buy Jesus, bro.
Oh God, no.
Best Buy Buddha over here.
I don't know.
No, Andy.
Like
you're
people,
Best Buy Buddha.
well, when I had the beard,
Oh,
when I had the beard,
okay, so
You're Super Saiyan Buddha.
I don't know. I don't really. I do walk around sandals sometimes though. I do Reiki.
Sandals are actually pretty cool. They let your feet breathe.
Oh God, Michael,
my hands on
I
people
love
if they
you,
need it.
dude. Michael, I love you, dude.
okay,
That's it.
I want to ask Bonnie something real quick, since I realized that the last time I checked her Facebook post, she said that the Qigong class was pretty amazing, and her teacher taught a lot. So I wonder, how did your teacher taught you?
Well, it was just super awesome. And how? It was a 5-day workshop that's like seminar.
Oh
It
yeah, we
started
gotta
at
hear about
8
that.
a.m. and it
That
didn't end
sounds
until 11 o'clock at night with breaks in the middle. And so, yeah, it was like immersion, you know? And there was a variety of teaching styles used
She went the
between
extra mile.
talking, and we did healing circles and like demonstrations, live demonstrations. We practiced. We got to do all the stuff we were learning for ourselves before learning how to teach it. I mean, we've all already done it all, but anyway.
That is awesome.
And how did the teacher teach you?
See, I only learned level 1 and then
How?
the Qigong that I know, but I didn't get to level 2 like Bonnie, so that's...
Level 2 is a whole new world.
But like, I want to know, like, how did Bonnie's teacher teach, like, Bonnie?
So there's
right?
there's more to it than what was in like the 4-day workshop?
Yeah, there's more, but the stuff we did in the 4-day workshop, we just learned how to teach it. How do you, and so it like dove into a lot more detail and stuff.
So,
Oh, wow.
did your teacher do something?
Bonnie, your hair is brown.
My hair color is changing.
Oh, wow.
I think it's just the light, dude. But I would really rather talk about like what I learned than how. I mean, how he taught. He taught several different ways of teaching. There was no like. I mean, it was like 10 hours a day, and every couple hours we were doing something different, you know.
That sounds amazing.
So there was like lectures. There's lecture parts, but there was a lot of exercise, and there was a lot of practicing the form inside and outside under the moonlight, and
Wow.
Where was this? Where was this at?
Orlando,
Matt there?
Florida. It was the Qigong Supreme.
Oh, Jeff Primack, dude.
Yeah, you know Jeff Primack?
Yeah, he came here to St. Pete.
Did you go?
Yeah, I went this year.
You went to the Chi Rev?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome. I want to go to a bunch
Small
more.
world.
So I did his
true.
level 1, but actually I just got back from his level 2 teacher training. So now I can have a 3-hour workshop doing like all the things that we did that you do in Chi Rev, the breath empowerment, the 9 breath method, and the
Shit.
9 breath method healing circle, which I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can like lead those and guide those and organize those now. And
Are you in Florida?
no, I'm in
She
Austin.
just got back.
I just got back
Austin,
yesterday.
Texas.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm there too.
That's
You're in
where I
Austin?
reside. Wait, what?
I am.
You guys need to meet up and do some qigong together.
Yeah, you want to do
Wait,
some
you're in Austin? Elias? Elias?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I am.
I can't
you?
see
Oh,
your
that's
face
like no
because
coincidence.
the little screen of boxes is like.
We have 4 people.
Okay, you can go back. You can go back to however you're comfortable now. I just wanted
fuck.
to like see what you looked like for a second.
Right.
The reason why I had to ask you is because seriously, like that's what I also want to know because I started my own school teaching qigong.
I don't even know.
What Michael was doing at his mystery school.
Dude, I want to teach kung fu too, man. I want
Oh,
to
yeah,
teach kung
dude.
fu and
Well,
qigong.
that'd be
I've been-
cool.
Andy,
Yeah.
I've been writing a book, bro,
Well,
on Kindle.
Wing Chun is one of the styles I mean, I try not to believe in styles, but that's probably my favorite.
That's like I started doing qigong and it naturally led into like kung fu movements, dude, and like wushu and shit. And like
Yeah. Wushu is probably one of the best ones you can incorporate qigong.
I love that connection between the two, man. Like I love how qigong can like help you strengthen and tone up and exercise, dude. It's like it's so amazing.
It's
But,
totally. I love how it is completely. It's a physical, mind, and spiritual healing, like all in one. It's like exercise for every aspect of yourself and soul.
Oh, Bonnie. Andy and I went to this awesome healers session place by
Yeah.
Barton Springs.
Mmm.
I think you would really enjoy it there. It had this beautiful tree. And oh my
Are you
god,
Dude, Barton
that
Springs
tree.
has the best water, dog.
What's it called?
It's
And
called
what?
Amala Foundation.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
got
Amala.
guys
a angelic Reiki session there.
are you guys
Nice.
all in
Beautiful.
Texas?
Yes, I'm actually in
Andy got
Austin.
a
And so there's 4
Vedic
people.
astrology reading.
There's
Boy, Andy, you're in Austin too?
Yup.
Oh, dude, you're in Pflugerville. But no, you in Wells
Wait.
Branch?
I'm in Wells Branch.
Dude,
Hey,
I'm on Riverside.
So what's going on, Bonnie?
I've heard of that. Is that not that far away from Wells Branch?
It's on the south side, but like I know how to get to Wells Branch. I had a homeboy who stayed up there.
Hey, Elias, did you know that's
Okay.
actually going to head to school, like my college over in Riverside, AC Riverside. So I'll be able to meet
I
you
had no
somewhere.
idea you were in Austin.
Dude, I went to ACC Riverside, dude, last semester, and I'm coming back. I can't believe I never saw you there, bro.
Well, Andy goes there. I just chill in the library, and sometimes hot chicks sit in front of me, and I just read.
Well, yeah,
books
bro.
and Freud.
It's full of hot chicks, dude. I mean, like, it's like a Power Ranger thing with them, you know? It's like hot chick squad everywhere.
This guy,
True.
he literally checks on books about Sigmund Freud, the founder and father of psychoanalysis, and I was like, why in the world are you reading stuff like that? That doesn't make any sense. And then
Sigmund Freud is a
Well,
pretty tricky dude, man.
It's pretty cool. Well, this is just from Akashic Records reading, but supposedly, it's pretty cool when you can go to your community college and read and just find yourself in a book.
I can't believe Andy
In
goes
past
to
life.
freaking the community college that went to and still probably am gonna go to still again. Love.
But I see so much that what Sigmund Freud was really, from what I've read and what I know, and if I did work with him in a previous life, that his biggest, what he was really wanting to accomplish is help his neurotic patients. And I'm like, that's the shit that I'm doing with all my energetic practices and everything. That's really what I'm, the basis of what I'm getting at is just to, well, pretty much alleviate stress in the person's life, but also just where they'll be able to go to like that clear state where like it's almost like the feeling kind of like when they just came into this world, like they have a complete like shower of karma and everything that just gets in their way.
Right, but so to wrap things up, because like I guess I have to end the broadcast.
And I believe Reiki is very good for that.
Right, but
I believe that's what I
here's
was
the
looking
funny
for.
thing, is that when I looked over some of the things that you guys talk about leadership and some of the energy healings that you were talking about, I feel like we should also implement the same thing over in some of the energy healing exercises. Like for example, when you're teaching Reiki or doing yoga, I always teach yoga right outside of Barton Springs all the time, or right outside of the park.
Oh, really?
You teach yoga?
Yeah, I teach yoga, and in fact, I always bring.
Outside of Barton Springs?
And also, I also do that like at parks everywhere around Austin.
Oh, fuck.
That
Actually,
kombucha is really good though.
Pease Park this Saturday, we're doing a guided meditation.
So yeah, like to
I think like
Oh,
so-
dude,
Yeah, I don't know.
one day I'm gonna hit all y'all up. Learn the way of the force.
Well, are you in South Austin?
Yeah, me? Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
she's close to
yeah, you guys are pretty close.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I could take
That's
a bus
cool.
to I had to take like 2 buses just to get to see Andy. So I don't know how many buses I would need to take to get over to see Bonnie again.
4 or 5, dude. I actually took 1 or 2 that would take me from my place to like that. It took nearly 2 hours. I'm not joking.
Wow.
But like to recap, like about what leadership is just basically learning.
Oh yeah, we're talking about leadership.
Didn't we already cover leadership? Can we just move on from leadership? Because we did leadership forever, dude. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah,
Andy, please
we're just.
make us talk about something else, bro.
Hello. Okay.
The
Talk about
audience.
Russell Brand.
To those of you who
I
have
don't know.
listened, I want to ask you guys who's still out there who has not had a chance to listen to our shows tonight. I just want to ask you, like, if you were to be a leader, how do you want your followers to react to you? That's all I want to ask
Dude,
to those.
if I
Just don't lead them to slaughter.
With love.
Lead
Because
them to green
I got
pastures.
them covered like all
Happy
state or
cows.
something way better than all state.
how would I want my people to react to me? That's a great question.
Because that's the major thing.
I would want them to be happy. I'd want them to be happy, number one.
Definitely happy.
Yeah. I'd want them to be
Help
happy
you
and
too.
just respectful, you know, because
Yeah, same here.
a lot of people, it's difficult to lead people, especially when people get older, because, like I said, people want to experience things for themselves. Even though you may have gone
That's
through a
so
similar
true.
experience and you might have learned a lesson from it, people will not listen to you. Some people might. Some people might wise up, and that's the thing
If
with
they're set
wisdom.
in their ways,
Yeah.
that's.
But like that's the key to wisdom. The key to wisdom is that somebody that's gone through a similar experience and has learned the lesson, if you can learn from
What's
them,
up? Love
then
is fun.
you're a good student, you know, like, and you're a good student and you will be a good leader. But the problem with most of us is that we can't learn from other people's experiences. We have to go through it ourselves and then we learn. You know, so I think
That makes sense.
if anybody was going to follow me, I'd want them to be happy, number one. I want them to be smiling, and I just want them to be respectful and take what I say and try it. That would be the first step.
Not make you into like the next Jesus or something.
No,
So-
not at all. Like, cause like I teach qigong. You know, like I've
Battle
led,
Jesus.
I've led qigong classes, and
Give it to Dory.
it's difficult. You know, teaching people and leading people is not an easy task. It can be,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
I think the main thing that for me
I'm still
the
learning.
leadership role is best if I am being, if I'm just being and I'm embodying my practices through just being, you know, being whatever role it is that I'm teaching.
Be here now.
So
Yeah.
the qigong, you know, it's like being the chi. It's like you being the chi and embracing your chi is like providing that leadership for other people to embrace their chi.
You become one.
And
with
yeah,
the chi.
there's some like movement and like showing and talking that is eventually like needed.
You know what I really want to do? The next time
You
I
know,
lead
I've
a
always
qigong
wanted
class,
to do Qigong.
What do you want to do?
the next
bought
time
my-
I lead a qigong class, I want to not say anything. Like I just want people to just mirror my movements and like just let that be the teaching. You know, because when I was teaching before, I had to do a lot of explaining and a lot of teaching in it, like a lot of speaking, and it got me out of my practice. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I
okay.
was giving them the full benefit of the practice.
Did you okay? Did you practice before
I do
you
my
went?
own style. Yeah, I do my own style. Like I like doing wuji. Wuji qigong is like freestyling,
Yeah.
right? So that's what, like, the next time I lead a class, like I want to have like a silent class where I'll just tell my students, I'll be like, listen, just try to mirror my movements as best as you can, and just